Hey, this is Wes from PC Gamer, and I'm back playing Dwarf Fortress for the second time with Will, our video producer at PC Gamer.
Hey there.
So last time we were playing Dwarf Fortress, after work we started a new world and we embarked, and we decided not to jump right into building a fortress immediately, but we're now going to do that and jump back into our worlds.
Oh,
And-
I think you just went into world creation.
Oh, man, I'm messing up already. Okay, continue playing Ilram, or Ilralam, the world that we created last time. And
Which we
we're
spent all of last time creating.
Yeah, so there's a lot that goes into your embark process. But now we're gonna play Dwarf Fortress like for real, and I'm gonna eat a baby Ruth while you tell me what to do.
Yeah, sounds good. I just had a little Milky Way, so. So let's see, so here we are. This is our region. This is where we'll be building. I'm not used to these graphics. The graphics mod, we're using a very basic graphics mod to make things a little clearer than the ASCII graphics, but as I've only ever played with ASCII graphics, it's sort of a fun challenge for me to figure out what's what.
And I forgot how good baby Ruths are.
Yeah, they're really good. They got the peanuts in there.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. So here we are.
We've got a hill next to us.
We've got a hill.
We've got a
We
little
talked
river.
about this last time, but we're looking at a top-down view.
Trees,
Lots of
trees.
trees. There's been a new update recently, as we talked about last time also. So tall trees have been added, which is cool. So you get a lot more wood from cutting down a tree, which is super cool, and they look fun.
So what are our first actions, commands we want to give to our dwarves? We need to dig something, right?
Yeah.
We probably need to cut some trees down to get wood, to get lumber.
Yep, we're going to want to cut some trees. We're going to want to harvest some bushes, I guess, some plants. I'm calling them bushes because that's what the little graphic is. And we're going to want to start digging. There's a couple things to think about in the digging process. Eventually, we're going to get attacked by something, so we want a entranceway that we can kind of defend. I like digging into the side of a hill just because it gives a little.
From what I know from other people who've played Dwarf Fortress, that seems to be a pretty common
Yeah.
move.
In my last game I was playing by myself, I actually started. I didn't have any hills, so I started just right in the center of the world with some
digging
stairs,
straight
just
down?
straight down.
Wow.
Yeah, which was kind of fun, and ended up building walls around that. But
All right, well, let's dig into
yeah.
this cliff face next to us, or this
So-
hill wall mound of earth, or whatever. I don't know what it is.
yeah, I'm gonna vote that we kind of dig. If you want to take the keyboard, I'll take the mouse so I can kind of point. I'm gonna vote for digging over here because we can clear out the ramps over here and sort of make this a natural defensive wall. If our entrance is over here, we can eventually kind of build some walls out and have a little outdoor courtyard, which is nice.
That sounds good.
So let's go for it.
So how do I start digging?
So everything is building. Everything is buildings. Jesus, everything is menu. So you want to go into designations, which is D, and mine, which is also D.
Also D.
And then you move your little cursor around.
I think I accidentally.
You've already selected.
Okay.
So
Now.
yeah. Yep.
There we go. So up here somewhere, where are we?
Let's go over here.
Over here. Okay.
It's nice and flat.
Because there's a tree right up there
Yeah.
that could kind of get in the way, right? In fact,
Yeah.
are those roots going to be a problem?
Yeah. They'll dig around them. Let's see, can we see the roots? That's so cool that you can see roots. So this is a new thing added to the game also, is the roots.
Was that blue flashing because I can't dig?
Because you can't dig,
on it?
exactly.
Okay.
So, and you can see the walls around there are also...
Don't dig into the river.
Don't dig. And the fun thing is if you look at this wall, it'll tell you it's a damp wall. So even if we dug to it on this side, our dwarves would know. Though, if you told them to dig it, they'll dig it, and fun
Right.
will ensue.
So I'm going to hit D to start.
Yep, and
digging
then...
there? Wait, isn't it supposed to...
Yeah, hit enter to start
there we go.
selecting where you're going to dig.
And how far in do I need to dig?
Let's go, yeah, you go a little further just to have a little entry hallway. It's nice to have a long entry hallway that you can line with traps. just to get into your main fort. So that's going to be fun.
Dwarves like traps.
Dwarves like traps. Goblins and other creatures don't like traps, which is the point. Okay, cool. So so we got that. Let's also set some trees to be chopped down.
So that would be T.
And so just as you select some trees, I'll talk about the sort of job process in the game. Everything happens by giving commands, just overarching commands. You can't control your specific dwarves. So you give specific commands.
So I had to hit enter twice on that last tree to like cancel out, to close out.
Yeah, to close out your
commands,
selection process. So once you select tasks to be done, any dwarf with the permission to do that task will do it. So if we've assigned our guys certain skills, which we did in the beginning, those guys will have, or girls, they're male and female dwarves, they'll have those tasks already selected as being allowed. So really any dwarf can do anything, but you have to go into another menu and allow that dwarf to do that task, whatever it may be. It keeps, your peasants from trying to use your forge or whatever.
Yeah, that would be garbage.
Yeah,
like probably get
instead
themselves
of
killed.
masterworked, steel warhammer or whatever, you end up with a crappy, just average quality one. So okay, so we've selected some trees to cut down. Let's also select some plants to gather. So that's P.
Do we have a plant gatherer?
Yeah,
we have an herbalist, right?
We have an herbalist, and that's the skill that goes along with it. So let's just grab some of the ones around the front, just for fun.
Why did that one show up as a different? Is that a different kind of plant?
I think so. I believe so.
All right.
And what we could do is, if you hit escape and then hit K, we'll go into our just look function, so you can actually look and see. So we got some hemp.
We like hemp, right?
Sure.
Prickleberries.
Prickleberries.
Are those just prickly, or are they gonna like stab someone?
Oh, they're delicious.
Okay,
no, I don't know.
Great.
Well, we just want to harvest some stuff, just to kind of clear some space.
Maybe we'll make wine out of them.
Yeah, maybe. So now if we unpause for a second, we can see how many dwarves are idling up here.
Whoa, so these guys are booking it.
Yeah, so let's pause again. So that kind of let dwarves start doing action. So we still have 4 dwarves that are not doing anything.
So we got one guy cutting.
One guy cutting.
One guy digging. One guy collecting berries.
Yeah, exactly.
And
and if we hit J, we can actually bring up a job list. So we can see the 3 that are doing stuff.
Kivish is digging.
Yeah.
Astesh cutting a tree down.
Kivish is always digging.
Irvad gathering some plants.
We got 4 people who are not doing anything. So now that we've started some action, one of the other things we brought with us was some livestock. So personally, I love having livestock in my game just because it gives you, you can get meat, you can get milk, you can get wool if you have the right creatures. So
how do you feel about human-bovine relations?
I'm going to have to talk to HR about that question. That's a little personal.
I never asked.
So let's. We started with some alpaca.
How did is it J?
Yeah. So we started with some. Is it alpaca or is it alpacas?
Ooh, plural alpaca.
Yeah. You're the print editor. I guess
it's plural llama, but is it plural alpaca?
Llama. Alpaca. Alpacas.
Alpacas sounds okay.
Alpaci.
We've got a couple alpaca animals.
We have one alpaca and we have another alpaca.
It's 2 alpaca.
Those are.
Hold on. Do our alpacas have names?
You know what? Let's look at them. I don't think so. It's just a stray alpaca.
Okay.
I think animals need to be adopted as a pet in order to be named. So the cats are funny because cats will adopt somebody rather than somebody adopting them, which is just how it works in the real world. And so
we have a couple of yaks too from our wagon or something.
Yeah, so that's cool. You always get your whatever your wagon animals are, and sometimes you get lucky and get a breeding pair of animals.
They're both bulls though in this case.
Yeah, so hopefully at some point we can trade for a yak cow, and then we can have a whole yak party. So yaks and alpacas. A yak party. Yaks and alpacas are both grazers. That means they need to eat grass. If you don't know what grazer means.
You think I'm an idiot?
I'm kidding. Yeah. In the game, what that means is you need to stick them in a big pasture.
Okay.
The way I play games, I always feel like looking stuff up online is cheating. I've never looked up how to, build anything in Minecraft ever. Like, I figured out all the crafting that I know how to do just by figuring it out, which has taken me years. But, I have no idea how to make a piston in Minecraft, for example, because that would be cheating. When I first started playing Dwarf Fortress, I tried to play that way, like, I'm not gonna look up how to do anything. And within, the first 5 minutes, but really it was within the first 5 hours. 5 hours after butting my head against the wall, I was like, okay, Wikipedia time.
So you just you failed enough to realize
that the wiki is actually really nice.
I think Dwarf Fortress is one of those games where robbing yourself of the information out there is actually detrimental to the experience, and it's not a game where you're gonna the payoff is exploring by yourself and discovering things. It's about mastering this system and working within it, and that requires a lot of research.
Yeah. And there is stuff that late game stuff that you can avoid looking up. If you dig really deep, for example, let's not talk about what happens then. So
now I want to know.
So there's some you can consider things like that spoilers if you want, but looking up a chart of how big pastures are for different animals is okay by me. So I've got my wiki page open with the sort of grazing needs of all the different animals. So if you look at that, you can see that an alpaca needs
25 squares?
Squares, I believe.
With no other animal nearby, or what?
With, it is 25, so a 5 by 5 at least. So basically what we're gonna do is designate a zone as a pasture. So if you go out of this and hit
the designations
I,
again? No. What's I?
I for zones. Because obviously zones, I. It's kind of fun. Tarn, the creator, has all these different shortcuts, and the more you play, the more they kind of make sense to you. You're like, oh, this button for that. But so start.
So put them over by the entrance, right?
Yeah, let's give them a little space.
Okay.
Let's kind of up where you were is good.
Up here.
So maybe kind of next to that tree. So hit enter to start placing, and then you can see sort of how big it's it is so far. So
am I just hitting enter for the corners basically?
No, you want to you're basically mapping it all out. So think of it. No, you're good. So
like that?
No, not like that. So you've just created. And that's part of the fun of this is there's so much of this.
I can remove them though,
So
right?
let's remove
those. What did I
those.
just make?
You just made 5 different pastures.
Oops.
Or 5 different zones.
Oh, they all went away.
So go back into your zones menu. You can actually see them when they're not up, which is nice because it just gets crazy.
Oh, they're still there.
Yeah. So
X.
So you want to hit X and then hit enter to remove it. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
So stop removing, hit X again. Half the game is mastering this stuff, which is fun for me anyway. So hit enter to start placing. Oh, you already did. I'm sorry. My bad.
Fuck. All right.
There's gonna be a lot of this. Okay, wait. So make that go away again. Yeah.
Enter.
Okay, so it's gone.
Jesus. Okay.
So start placing. So just hit enter once.
Enter.
Now just scroll till you have. Okay, so now we're 6. Now if you go down, Okay, cool. So I like to do 30 for alpacas just so that they have enough, if something went wrong. I don't know, I'm paranoid. So we'll give it 30 so you can hit enter. And now we can designate that.
So you just do the corners? You just draw
yeah,
the corners?
Yeah, you just hit enter in the
okay.
corners. But you've got to kind of select the whole thing. I
Now-
like to think of it as like, when you drag the little boxes on your desktop when you're bored,
And then hit N to make this a pasture.
N to make it a pasture. And then if you do capital N, Shift N, now that we've selected it, we get to choose who's going to be in there.
Then I have to use up and down.
So
plus
some
and
of the
minus.
menus use the arrow keys to navigate, some of them use plus and minus to navigate,
Why?
others use number keys.
Why is it always the same?
It makes sense. It doesn't make sense.
So first alpaca.
First alpaca, let's just stick them in there. So now, automatically, one of the dwarves is going to choose the job pasture animal, and we'll take our animal there.
Now, is that like a full-time job, or they just like throw them
They
in
just
there
do it, and then the job will be done.
So should I do this for all the animals?
Just our 4 grazing animals, which are the
right,
alpacas
right,
and the bulls.
Okay. So now I need to do another
Yeah,
one.
we can do it right below there.
Place.
Cool. Let's make that a.
And then N.
Yep. And then capital
and then
N.
Capital N.
We got, and luckily, you can see who's already pastured. So great. Cool. So now we've got 2.
Right.
Now for the, what are they, yaks?
Yaks.
Yaks take up a lot more space, which is why we didn't choose to bring any with us. So they actually need a 16 by 16 space.
Jesus.
So for that, I'm going to recommend we go all the way down to the bottom for them.
Way down here.
Yeah, way down yonder.
I hope that there are no wolves around this place.
Yeah,
Are there
remember,
wolves?
losing is fun.
Oh God. Okay.
So, yeah, so we'll just start making 16 by 16, which I'm going to pretend to be a math savant and say 16 by 16 is 256.
Bam.
Bam. So
Done.
good. Done. And we'll put our first bull. Bunch of bull. Cool. And then let's do another one right below that.
Or next to it, maybe?
Yeah, or next to it, whatever
Let's
you
go
want.
next to it.
Yeah.
Did I? Oh, I guess there's a couple like.
Yeah, so there's some trees in there, and stuff like that, some boulders. So we'll just make it a little bigger. That's fine.
All right.
Cool. Then let's put our
N.
other.
Shift N. Scroll with the plus symbol and.
Yeah. Great. So now they're not going to starve to death. It wouldn't have happened that quickly anyway, but it took me a few games to realize, oh, I got to do something with my animals.
Eat some food.
Why do my yaks keep dying? Cool. Okay. So now
Should
we
I
got some
unpause?
stuff. Let's unpause and see what happens. So now we have 0 idlers. If you look up in the top.
Because
here.
we had
Oh,
4
now we have
animals
2.
that I guess needed to be.
Yeah.
So that briefly.
So 2 have already done
So
it.
they're like calling on the yaks down
Yeah.
there.
Oh, and look, we got some trees that are already cut down.
Nice.
So the next thing we want to do is designate.
Now, what are all those? What were those greater than like brackets that were showing up?
Now let's pause it for a sec.
What is that?
Go look at that, because being that this has the graphics mod, I have no idea. That's a worm. That's cool.
Do you know what worms do?
No, I think it's just a worm. Actually, you can get more information if you exit out of this and go to V, which looks at units, and then go up to the worm, and it'll let us kind of. Oh, it's still selecting the stray dog. I think a worm might be small enough that it won't let us select it.
Huh. Okay.
Oh, this cat is a legendary climber.
Damn cat.
Damn, cat.
Can I give this cat labor instructions?
You can try. No. No, you can't.
Set it into combat.
The nice thing about cats, and why we brought one with us, is they help control vermin. So that worm might count as vermin, I'm not sure. But
I don't think cats eat worms, but...
Well, they'd kill them, that's for sure. I don't know. Have you ever owned a cat? Because
Yeah.
I've definitely seen him eat
I had
some
a cat
weird
that
bugs.
would chase down birds and pull them out of trees,
God.
but not so much worms.
Yeah, my cats never got birds, but they used to get little like flies and things.
Yeah,
and
I had
just
a-
be like, what are
I had a
you
hunter.
chewing on? Luke,
Okay,
God
so
damn it.
I guess we need to gather this wood and dig more.
Yeah, let's dig more. The wood's gonna be fine. We can like, kind of let it sit there for now.
Designations mine.
Yeah. So actually, what we should do first, before we forget, is designate a refuse pile. So let's go back to zones again. Yeah. And we're gonna let's just do it close to the entrance, but not too far. Maybe kind of just right below it, kind of here. And let's do it.
How big does it need to be?
Maybe 16 to start. Maybe we could do a little more. Yeah, that's fine. And now let's make that a garbage dump.
G?
Yeah. Not a pasture.
Didn't I make it?
It's a pasture and a garbage dump right now.
Oh, I didn't know it could be multiple things.
Unless I'm crazy.
Hold on.
How do you? Okay.
We'll go back into it.
Yeah. Oh, you.
Are you sure that didn't just mean I have pastures? Oh,
no. So
it
hit
says
N
ends.
and it'll un. Yeah. Cool.
Ah, okay.
Great.
And then I don't have to designate a specific type of
Yeah.
garbage like I had to for the pastures.
So one of the fun things about Dwarf Fortress is how often you get things totally confused and wrong. So I just got that wrong. Let's remove that. We actually want a stockpile that's going to be a refuse pile, which is different than a
I don't
zone.
even see stockpile on there.
Completely different menu,
Oh.
which is, again, part of the fun. So let's
X
remove that
again.
guy.
Wait, is
or
it
hit
Shift
X and
X?
then,
Okay,
yeah.
I got it.
Okay, so get out of this.
Stockpiles.
Love
P.
this. Stockpiles, and then select
For corpses. Great.
refuse.
We're going to do one of those later.
Yeah. hopefully not too soon. So R refuse, and we'll make a little refuse pile. And same.
It's like I'm not drawing.
You gotta hit enter to start. Cool. And then same deal. Well, yeah, that's fine. Great. So that'll be our refuse pile. Good. Basically, if you have refuse underground, it can start going bad. You get miasma that spreads and can make your dwarves sick.
Oh.
Stuff like that. It's not good. Cool. Okay, now let's dig more.
Dig more. D,
Yeah.
designation, dig.
So one thing we could do
Mine.
is start digging down. So we've kind of dug in. We can start digging down.
Now, would we want to dig out this entire hallway or like the bottom, like the back edge of it?
Yeah, I'd say just the back edge.
So we're going to do like a stairway or something down.
Yeah, well, and stairways you can do just over one space. That's just like an up-down stairs. It's not stairs like a progressive.
Yeah, it's just
left,
kind of like
right.
an
Yeah.
imaginary like spiral staircase
Yeah,
or something
more
like
like
that.
that.
So to dig down, do I need to change the Z level?
Yeah, so if you go down, great. So if you select I think it's I also, an up-down stair right there.
So I'm already on mine.
Yes, you
I
want to
need
go to
hit
I, and
then
then
hit
just
enter.
enter, and then enter again.
Enter again.
So, and then if you move the cursor, you can see, yeah, so now we've designated that for an up-down
Now,
stairs.
should it be showing here?
He should be able to dig down into it.
So I should unpause, see what
Yeah,
happens?
let's just see what happens. You gotta get out of the menu. Let's see. Yeah, let's actually dig a down stair.
So yeah,
It's
that
right
didn't
there.
seem like
that
it was
didn't work.
working.
Yeah,
So downward stairway?
downward stairwell. Yeah.
J? Or
Yeah. Hit. Yeah. Try J. Yeah, you can actually scroll through this. Yeah.
There we go.
Let's go over there. Da, 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 da. Like I said, I am not an expert at this game. Cool. Okay. Now we should.
Unpause.
Yeah.
Close menu, unpause.
So
Now he's going.
There he goes. Da, 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 da.
Stairs.
Now let's look and see if he dug one below. Yeah.
There's also stairs? That looks like a...
Oh, is that just the designation?
I don't know.
So
I guess we can...
yeah, we're paused.
So
right
what
now.
would the next step be to
Oh, look at the
continue?
cute little graphic. So I would say, let's go underground. Let's actually clear that and look at what.
So I go to
ended up there.
designations again to clear it, or?
Yeah, go to designations, go to remove designation. I usually do just straight up downstairs,
X.
so So this is fun. Let's see. Oh yeah, and you gotta. Cool.
Did that remove it?
Yeah, it might actually be stairs. I don't.
Okay.
Here, hit K or escape and then hit K. We can look at it. I have no idea if it's already built. I think he might have already dug it.
Fast digger.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. Okay, great.
All right.
Cool. So let's go down another layer, and do another up downstairs. Let's just go down a few till we get to stone.
So D again for designation.
Yeah. I for up down.
Enter.
Well, you don't want to dig it over there.
Shit.
One of the annoying things about the game is trying to get in the right spot.
Yeah, I thought the cursor would just stay in the same place, but
and you can actually use Shift to scroll to move.
More
I think
rapidly?
It's 10 units at a time,
Sweet.
which is nice.
That's useful.
Cool. Let's go down another level.
Ooh. How deep we going?
Just a couple. We want to be low enough that
Now is
they're not
this,
bothered by.
So I guess my cursor is where I want it.
Yeah.
So this level,
Cool.
I.
So I just enter.
Enter.
Let's go down one more. I enter. Cool. Great. Let's dig them. We could probably be having our guys do something else at the same time. But
I struck yellow zircon.
hell yeah.
And mica.
Some mica. So yellow zircon is a gem. So we've got our first gems. I bet you
Nice.
never got any yellow zircon when you were panning for gold back in your day.
You know, I might have.
You might have. Yeah.
I might have some yellow zircon somewhere.
Yeah.
You don't know.
So we're paused again.
Yeah,
So
we
let's
Do we want to
let's
actually
plan a
kind
little bit.
of dig a cavern out?
Yeah, let's
Like-
dig some stuff out. I would say we should dig. Let's go all the way down to here, which is what you can see in the corner. We're I believe
Level 8, 7,
8 levels below ground. Yeah, which that's exciting. So
That's pretty deep.
yeah. So let's dig out the 8 squares around that. And you can just select them all. He won't. Yeah.
Like this.
Oh, we could go even. I was just gonna say the ones immediately around it, but
Oh.
but yeah, that's fine. And then let's do a little passageway off in all the directions. So yeah, just one square, just to kind of.
Just one single.
Yeah, just to start. And then what we can do is let's do another 5x5 room on each of those branches.
The same size?
Yeah. So
I guess
yeah,
I should.
you can do it bit by bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really funny watching somebody do this.
Probably
that's 4x5, yeah. It's also weird because I'm used to playing with the ASCII graphics. You get the blocks aren't even squares, so I'm used to horizontal and vertical.
I made this one
Yeah,
bigger.
that one's a little bigger.
That's okay.
Yeah. So yeah, let's make it smaller again.
Oh, you
can
want me
just
to?
go to X and yeah, just so it's nice and even. I mean, unless you want to go crazier. So let's do another one of those, and you can select. You don't have to do it one row at a time. You can do the whole. Yeah.
Oh, will it just like follow?
Yeah, it'll make a box.
Uh,
So go to one of your corners. Yeah, and go up to the other corner. Yeah, there you go.
Sweet.
Tricks of the trade. Great. Okay, cool. So now we've got a little thing.
I'm pausing.
Yeah.
See this guy get down here.
And we should have, yeah, we've got 2 miners going for it now, because now we're in a
yeah.
bigger space. They don't have to, fight for, oh, look, there's our first little piece of stone.
So now we're kind of seeing what's down here. I guess before it was just all like blackness.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing what the terrain looks like, I guess.
Yeah.
Indigo
Oh.
tourmaline.
because we did set minerals to be on everywhere, which is the highest setting. So we should be getting a lot of gems, a lot of metals.
All kinds of minerals.
Which is, in the realm of easy mode, but
it's going to be balanced out by all the wolves that are going to come kill me in a minute.
Yeah. Cool. So while they're doing this, let's go back to the surface and look at kind of what we got.
Will our cat at some point maybe eat the geese? Is that...
No, it should be good. They tend to be...
So what are our dwarves doing here? I kind of want to look at the...
They're just socializing.
Oh. They're just chilling.
Which is fun. So a lot of the skills, get trained by doing them, obviously. And so when dwarves are idle, they go to whatever is designated as a meeting area, which right now is our wagon. Which
looks like
if
a
you
barrel.
can't tell, it's a little
barrel.
There's a barrel in the wagon. There's some bags.
So
in
they're
the
hanging
wagon.
out inside the wagon.
So they're just these two are kind of on the wagon. These three are hanging out around it, and right now they're gaining skills in socialness. So that's kind of fun. Not always super useful, but not useful.
I think we're gonna have to wrap up soon. So what else should we kind of get going?
Let's have our dwarves finish up digging, and we'll build our first workshops.
World is unpaused.
Yeah.
I don't know why he abandoned this little piece right here.
Yeah, there's some algorithm for what they decide to go next. I think generally they tend to start in the top left.
Or did our cat
the cat's
just come down here?
Coming down to hang out.
It's like, what's going on down here? Oh, you just got a bunch of tourmaline?
Yeah.
I don't need any of that.
I'm a cat. I don't care about jewels. So as they're doing that, let's hit
Building?
B to build. Yeah, and so more menus. Let's go.
So that auto paused the game.
That auto paused the game. Whenever you're in a menu, it's paused, which is nice. So you're not like being slaughtered by goblins
Should
while
we make
you're
some beds?
You can try. You can see what happens when you try to make a bed. You actually get red text that's going to tell you why you can't do what you want to do.
We don't have any beds.
We don't have any beds. So let's go down to workshops, which is W. So these are kind of our core of our industries. You got to think of Dwarf Fortress in terms of kind of industry. So what we want to start, we're going to want a carpenter's workshop, we're going to want a mason's workshop, and we're going to want a mechanic's workshop so we can start getting some traps. So yeah, let's just put it right dead in the center of our little rooms.
If I place this over like the gems, are we kind of losing those?
No, they'll stay. Certain things won't let you place over it, but now you get to choose what your workshop's going to be made out of. So you can see that there's some phyllite, distance 0.
That we're sitting on.
It's right under there. And then you can also see we've got 17 of them. And the way Dwarf Fortress works is it's counting everything on the map. So we sort of own everything
that we've
on
discovered.
the map. Right,
that
right.
we've seen so far.
So that works. It's distance 0. Let's go ahead and select it.
You can just build a workshop out of like any minerals? Any kind of
it's
mineral?
just going to make it out of that stone.
Doesn't need to be made of wood. It can just be...
Nope. And in fact, wood workshops can burn, which isn't really a problem with
So this might be a really sparkly workshop, but...
So let's go for it.
So how do I
just
hit enter?
Just enter to select, yeah. And some things that you build, like a wall, is going to take more than one stone or wood, so you have to select multiple ones. But so cool. So now let's do a mason's workshop.
Where is the
which
command
is
for mason?
M, and you get you start to learn those.
That figures.
Yeah. And let's put it up.
That one's not done yet.
Cool. So let's just put it there. Yeah. Great.
Phyllite
again. Sounds good. And then let's let them get to it for a little bit.
Oh, so it auto unpaused for me when I left the menus that time, since I had paused manually.
Since it hadn't been officially paused. So now we've got our workshops are being built. It looks like they are built.
Like the mason came, or I guess the builder or the craftsman or whoever came down, built them, and then he's like, all right,
he's out.
Hang out the wagon again.
So what we can actually do here, hit pause again, and let's hit Q to go into
The workshop.
the
maybe?
workshop. So you can kind of, if you scroll around right now, you'll see where it's selecting the closest workshop. Right now, that's the carpenter's workshop. If you go up, the mason's
Nice.
workshop.
Okay.
So we can add tasks to those if we want.
Make a bed.
Let's actually start with some wheelbarrows. So if you go way down.
Look at all this wasted space
I
on the
know.
screen. Why does this menu not go all the way down here? Wheelbarrow.
Yeah, so let's make a wheelbarrow. And let's make a bed because you want a bed.
I mean, I just assume that these guys
They're going to
wanna-
need beds at
I
some
want
point.
to sleep eventually.
Yeah, we'll dig out, next time we'll dig out some bedrooms. So great, now let's just scroll over to the Mason's Workshop and let's make some doors just for fun. Yeah.
Do dwarves care about privacy?
It makes them happy if it's easier to designate rooms if you got doors.
Build a couple doors.
Yeah, let's say 3 just to start. Cool. Okay, that's good. So now we've started digging our fort.
It's like mining is complete.
Yep.
Almost.
Yeah, now it is. Look, he's actually.
Dragging.
What is he doing with that?
Is that the mason?
That's the mason.
So he was getting resources.
Yeah, let's hit K and look at what it was he just picked up.
The cobaltite.
Cobaltite. Cool. Cobaltite. I said it
Cobaltite.
wrong. You said it right. Cool. So, yeah, we've got some production underway. We've got 2 workshops. Next time we're going to want, let's pause it again and just look around, see what's going on.
Our alpacas are still alive. Our yaks are still alive. That's good.
Yeah. The main thing we're kind of wanting to do right now, dig out the basics of our fort. We want to line our sort of entry hallway with some traps, just to make that.
We need traps already, you think?
Yeah, I like to just get them in just so you're ready. You don't have to worry about it.
All right.
And traps are going to require some mechanisms and also some
So we'll
cages.
need some more workshops.
Yeah, so we're going to need a
produce that
mechanics
stuff.
workshop
All
for
right.
the mechanisms, and then we'll need our carpenter to make some cages too. So that's kind of, you can start to see how the workshops kind of all work together.
All
We're
right.
also going to want to make a kitchen, a still for brewing, and some bedrooms. Those are kind of our next steps.
It's a lot of stuff to remember, but that all
Yeah.
sounds important. So
Yeah, all important.
All right, well let's go ahead and save
Yeah.
and get out of here. And that's been day 2 with Dwarf Fortress.
Yeah, awesome. Nothing crazy has happened yet.
No, it's
Nothing
been-
crazy.
We found a lot of gems.
We found some gems.
Really crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So until next time, it's Wes from PC Gamer, Will
Yep.
from PC Gamer.
Awesome.
And we'll be playing more Dwarf Fortress soon.